At the end of the day, and I can say this, and this is not an excuse, my son never indulged in drugs around me. You got to realize I'm his dad, bro. And I was a disciplinarian. I was strict, structured. So certain things I didn't see. I never saw Quan pop a pill in front of me.
But they're saying it's over an overdose. That's some fake ass pills, bro. 9 times out of 10, it's probably them fake ass pills. Like, I don't knock nobody who do what they do, but it's too fucking dangerous to get anything off the streets.
Rich homie Quan has been gone for almost 2 years, but questions around his death won't go away. That overdose story never fully made sense, and now word is the last folks who saw Quan alive know way more than they told police. We talking hidden moves and a cover-up hidden in plain sight. But before we go there, let's rewind real quick to the morning everything went south. September 5th, 2024 was the day Quan died at just 34. According to the official timeline, his brother Andre was the first to find him. Around 3 a.m., he walked into the kitchen and saw Quan on the floor, food still in his mouth, unresponsive, not breathing. Now, anyone who's ever found a loved one in that situation probably raises an alarm, calls for help, or at least checks for a pulse. But none of these happened. Andre reported to the authorities, said he picked Quan up and moved him to the couch. That's it. No call, rush, or urgency. Just lifted him and laid him down like he already knew the outcome. Then, around 6:45 a.m., Quan's baby mama, Amber, wakes up. She takes the kids to school, comes back, looks at Quan on the couch, cold, foaming at the mouth, still not breathing. Then, she finally calls 911. And here's where the internet really started side-eyeing. When that call came out, folks were focused on the tone because it sounded more like someone checking off a box than someone watching the father of their children slip away. People online said it sounded like she already knew he was gone. Andre, again, didn't rush to explain himself either. He was the first one there. He saw the scene before anyone else and still didn't call for help. Didn't even say he checked to see if his brother was alive.
Sleep on the couch since this morning. Well, he never came to bed last night. Sleep on the couch. I left him on the couch before I took my son to school this morning, put a blanket over him. And now I just checked on him again because he never got up. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
That's when folks started asking the uncomfortable questions. Did they know more than they were saying? Was this planned? Was this allowed to happen? One user wrote, "That's crazy because if I know that my man have not been in the bed all night, I'm going to check on him. That's crazy." Another said, "She is so wrong. I can't believe this. She's too calm talking to the operator." And then more fuel hit the fire. Rumors started spreading that Andre and Amber weren't just living in the same house, that they were allegedly getting way too close behind Quan's back. Too close. Then Quan passes, and Andre's behavior only made things worse. Posting in Quan's clothes, laughing emojis, trying to move like he inherited a lifestyle overnight, allegedly floating obituaries for money, even reaching out to big artists for collaborations days after his brother died. The hood saying that don't look like grief, but opportunity. Now, one industry insider that didn't sugarcoat nothing, Hurricane Chris. While some folks tried to stay neutral, Chris went straight to foul play talk. He didn't claim to have paperwork. He didn't say he was there, but he made it clear the situation smelled wrong, like somebody knew something, like somebody wasn't being honest about that morning.
But they're saying it's over an overdose. That's some fake ass pills, bro. 9 times out of 10, it's probably them fake ass pills. Like, I don't knock nobody who do what they do, but it's too dangerous to get anything off the street. You gambling with your life when you swallow that pill that you got from your homeboy. Even if he said he got it from the doctor, like, don't believe that. If you didn't go to a doctor and get that as your medication, don't take it. Even if somebody's selling it to you, got the pill bottle. There could be an old pill bottle they had and they putting new fake pills in it. Like, this a dangerous game if you out here taking drugs. You gotta really, like, pay attention.
And when somebody from the industry says that out loud, it gives people permission to start digging deeper. That's when the lace pill narrative started circling back around. At first, the public was told it was an overdose, a deadly cocktail of fentanyl, codeine, promethazine, THC, the usual rapper tragedy script. But people close to Quan weren't buying it, especially his father. Quan's dad spoke out months later, still shaken, still confused. He said straight up, that story didn't match the son he knew. Quan wasn't a pillhead. Yeah, he smoked, drank, but that lethal mix didn't align with his lifestyle.
Today, and I can say this, and this is not an excuse, my son never indulged in drugs around me. You got to realize I'm his dad, bro. And I was a disciplinarian. I was strict, structured. So certain things I didn't see. I never saw Quan pop a pill in front of me. I saw him smoke weed. I saw him drink liquor. But certain things I never saw him do. But in my mind, I knew when he was higher than normal. And I would address it with him. I used to tell him like, hey man, whatever you going through in life, your ass ain't in a pill bottle or liquor bottle, man. I used to tell him that.
And this wasn't just a father in denial. This was a man who talked to his son daily. They weren't distant. They were close. Friends, not just father and son, cause Quan's dad never experienced a relationship with a father.
This chair I'm sitting there alone, I don't wish this on nobody, man. Like, I honestly, I envision my son getting older and pulling up, kicking it with me on some grown man shit, bro. You feel me? Yeah. Like I wanted to have them time, man, while I was old and we just kicked it and we talked about what we did.
So when he heard what supposedly killed Quan, it didn't sit right in his spirit. Then came the toxicology report. People noticed how fast it dropped. Too fast, delays, or back and forth. Clean and wrapped up quickly. That alone raised eyebrows because those tests usually take time, especially when a public figure is involved. Add that to the calm 911 call, Andre's behavior, the alleged closeness between Andre and Amber, and the random presence of another woman in the house that morning, Kia Brown. Yeah, that name keeps popping up. Not family, not widely known, but reportedly present in the house around the time everything happened. When authorities questioned her, people said her energy was shaky. Some claim she was trying to leave after delivering something harmful, allegedly. Others say she gave vague answers about who else was around and what she saw.
I'm just friends with one of the people that stay in the house.
Name?
Quick.
Quick. So you Quick's friend?
Correct.
Okay. And you don't remember what time you arrived?
No. I have no idea what has transpired before or after. I was just in the room.
She never became the main focus publicly, but in the streets, her name never left the convo. Too many people in that house, unclear stories, and too much time passing before help was called. That's when the streets started expanding the lens beyond the house, because Quan wasn't just anybody. He wasn't a struggling artist. He wasn't broke. He wasn't desperate. He had value. And in this industry, value brings enemies. At first, people pointed fingers at Young Thug. The logic was simple. Quan was allegedly getting his life together. There were whispers he might testify, that he might separate himself from certain circles, that he might speak up, but that angle didn't hold. People close to Thug said he genuinely respected Quan. When news broke, Thug reportedly broke down. Real pain, not performative, and nothing about the situation benefited him. That theory slowly died out, but one thing stuck. Quan might have been trying to distance himself from a group of people, not naming names or starting drama, but just stepping away, and that's dangerous in this game. Lil Woody hinted at this, talking about how people get taken out when they decide to stand up or stand apart, when they don't want to play a role anymore, when they don't want to be controlled.
So what's your thoughts on Rich Homie Quan passing?
Yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad. Rich Homie had a lot of potential. You feel me? Like, he just made wrong choice in the past. What could have that hurt his career. And he didn't have to make that choice. But sometimes people gotta learn how to stand up for themselves. Don't be intimidated by no group of people. Cause them group of people, man, they ain't know nothing for real.
He didn't say names, but the streets connected dots anyway, and that's when Birdman's name resurfaced. An industry titan, the man who originally connected Quan and Thug, something Quan hinted at.
And so, would you say that during that time period, you and Thug were really like close friends, or was it just like a convenient musical relationship and Birdman was really the thing that was keeping y'all together?
No, that was my dog. That was my dog.
Right.
Definitely my dog. It was Birdman wasn't keeping me together. I met Bird through Thug.
Right.
I wouldn't have met Bird if it wasn't for Thug. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word on the street is Birdman had a hand in separating them when their bond started becoming too powerful, independent, uncontrollable, allegedly. Fans been saying for years, Birdman doesn't like artists becoming untouchable without him. And when people grow beyond the leash, things get shaky. Nobody's saying Birdman pulled a trigger. Nobody's saying he slipped pills. But the industry don't always move with hands on weapons. Sometimes it moves with access, influence, pressure, and silence. And when you look at Quan's situation through that lens, the idea of an inside job stops sounding crazy. Now, in the middle of all this noise, one voice chose peace instead of speculation. DC Young Fly. DC knew Quan and his family since 2003. Real history, not industry friendship. At the funeral, DC didn't feed the rumors, just spoke life.
Mother, mama, I call you mama. We been introduced since 2003. Big bro, so, you know, it's real family. Corey, what's going on?
He told the family they still had to keep living, keep moving forward, even though the autopsy wasn't sitting right, even though answers were missing. He reminded them that we're all on borrowed time, that we're just passing through. What matters is what we do while we're here.
But how you move, Emma, is how we supposed to move during these times. Because all the morals and the doctrines, this is the only time that we really apply it. When we hurt. Job. Everybody go read the book of Job. Just read the book of Job. He took everything from Job. He kept snatching everything from Job. And Job, like every Christian that, everybody like, I put so much good into the world. Why so much bad coming to me? He like, you know what? I ain't really been bad to nobody. I just want to talk to him. I want to ask him why. Why he doing this to me? God looked at him and said, who you talking to? Why not you? This is the time for you to praise my name. This is the time for you to tell the other people through the midst of pain, I'm the one that's giving you the strength, fool. So when people think you crazy, Mom, you ain't crazy. You being obedient.
It was powerful, grounding, human, and that contrast made everything else feel even darker. Because while DC was trying to heal a family, others were scrambling to explain behavior that didn't make sense. So now you got layers on layers. A brother who found him first and didn't call for help. A baby mama whose calm raised alarms. A random woman whose presence remains unexplained. A father who doesn't believe the cause of death. And industry voices hinting at foul play. LD power players circling the story. And a toxicology report that moved way too fast. That's not just tragedy, that's a puzzle, and the internet is not done putting the pieces together. One dude went blunt, saying what many feared to say. When she put the blanket over him, she didn't see him foaming out the mouth. Dre said it was unusual for Quan to be on the floor with food in his mouth, so why you didn't call the ambulance? Amber was the calm on that call. I would have been hysterical. Another wrote, it don't matter if he OD or somebody gave him something bad, it still killed him, and the people need to be in custody. At the end of the day, turns out this ain't about street talk, but about truth, and until someone explains what really happened in that house on that morning, Rich Homie Quan's name will keep circling the block. So now the real question is, was Rich Homie Quan really lost to an overdose, or did somebody in that house know exactly what was coming? And if Quan was trying to step away from certain circles, who stood to gain the most from his silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and let's keep the convo going. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more stories straight from the hood.